If you'd like to see how to set up your latex reusable piping bags and glamorize your body butters and make them be beautiful gifts, keep watching this video. Hey YouTube! So today in this video, I am going to be finishing making some body butters. I started this in my other video, but it ran kind of long. So I ran into a problem. I had a really hard time filling up my body butter jars. I didn't know why. So I'm also going to discuss how to set up your reusable latex piping bags. I got these off Amazon and they come with the little metal tips. So they do have different designs on the ends of the tips. I think I like this one the best. So I had mine all wrong. So that's why it was so much pressure built up and I couldn't push out the body butter properly. And then I have a separate batch of body butter here that I added a different amount of oils to, just to see if I like the consistency different versus the other one. And I want to see if it's enough that I can separate them and have two separate colors. This is going to be a gift for a Valentine's Day basket. So I'll give you a sneak peek of how the other ones turned out too. So let me go ahead and get started. Okay, so first you're going to take this little plastic tube here. And you're going to put it inside of your piping bag. All the way down to the very tip. Just like that. Then you're going to insert, or you're going to attach the metal tip that you want. Just like that. See, I had everything attached and pushed through. I didn't have mine on the outside. This is how I was supposed to do it, because I didn't realize that this would actually screw on over the latex. So you have this other little short circle tube right here. You put that right on top. Make sure it's lined up properly. Line that up properly, then you go ahead and you twist that on. Nice and tight. That's how it's supposed to be on. And I'm going to do the same for the other one. Push that all the way through to the very tip. Add on the silver tip that you want. And again, you'll take the shorter little tube here and you'll just screw that right on. Now they're ready to be used. So I'll set those to the side until I'm ready for that. So here is my body butter. If you'd like to see exactly what I put in here, this is the point where you take it out of the refrigerator or the freezer and it's just this nice solid consistency. You blend it from this point and add a little bit of oils if you need to. You don't have to, but I used arrowroot powder just to make sure it had that nice fluffy, not so greasy feel to it. I bought a hand blender for this. I didn't really care for it. I didn't feel like it was powerful enough. So I'm just using a regular mixer blender. And I have some coconut oil. No, I have some castor oil that I'll be adding. And I will leave in the description exactly what oils is in here. But basically it's a little bit of castor oil. It's lanolin oil, coconut oil, a little bit of vitamin E oil. I use shea butter and I use mango butter. So I'm gonna go ahead and start blending this. Okay, so here you can see me blending with my hand mixer, mixing up the body butters. And you wanna do this for maybe about 10 to 15 minutes, but the longer that you whip it, the fluffier it's supposed to be in consistency. You wanna make sure it's nice and smooth, so I am adding a little bit of oil in there. 4 teaspoons of the arrowroot powder, just because that's what I added to my last batch. I've seen people add huge cups of it. It doesn't exactly say how much to put in there, so I guess you can kind of like eyeball it or do more research. Now I'm not doing all those, a lot of like measurements. I'm kind of eyeballing this. I won't be selling this. These are going to be gifts. And it came out excellent. Some people are super to the measurement, use measuring cups when they cook. I'm not that girl. So I'm going to eyeball it, put in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you don't like the consistency, you can add a little bit more if you like. Okay, so make sure you blend up the arrowroot powder very well and add oil as needed. And I'm just going to separate in 2 batches. I have this cute little bowl I got from Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to add some lemon fragrance. And I think the other one was like a watermelon flavor. I don't know for sure if the smell is gonna show up. It didn't really on the first batch, but that's fine. I'm using a purple mica powder to add purple to one batch, and the other color I want it to be like a pinkish color. So if it doesn't show up as dark as you want it, you might have to add a little bit more. So that's why I added the mica powder twice. You can get this stuff on Amazon. I will have a list of everything that you need. Now this is a more reddish color mica powder. I think what I did too to kind of lighten it up, I had my daughter add some gold to it. So that's gonna be like a pinkish color. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to fill up the piping bags. I put it in a tall cup, the latex bag, and I just kind of scooped it inside. It's kind of self-explanatory, and I felt like this was a very simple way to get it inside of the bag. If your bag is too big for the cup, you may need to find a bigger, taller cup if you have one. To secure it, I went ahead and used a rubber band to close up the back of it. And I'm doing the same thing I did for the first one. Put it in a big cup, filling it up as much as I can. I'm going to secure that one with the rubber band as well. So now I am piping the body butter into the jar, little plastic jar. I did wipe these out with alcohol. You can rinse them out, wash them out, whatever you like to do. But I did that off camera already. And I'm going to go ahead and use the lavender color one to go on top. I like to have a cute little design if possible. But the first thing that I did notice about this body butter, it has a much smoother, milkier consistency. Now when it comes to body butter, people have their different preferences, and I don't think anyone is wrong. I personally do like a thicker one. Personally, I do. And I'll show you later in this video an example. But this is nice and creamy. I have since given these to the people that they were for. Both sides love them. Absolutely adored them. The ones that were creamy, I got a lot of good feedback on. They said it just smoothed right in perfectly and they loved it. They said it was perfect. Me personally, I think it was nice, but I just like mine to be a little thicker. So if you do like yours to be thicker, you may want to add not as much oil. If you like it this more smoother, runnier consistency, add a little bit more oil. So just kind of play around with it and get it to where you like to have it. I am just really happy that I was able to set these piping bags up the proper way. Thank goodness for YouTube, when you could just look on here and find a video to help you get something done the proper way, the way it should be done. Because I was struggling. I mean, it was to the point my hands were hurting. I was squeezing those bags so hard. I'm going to put a little bit on my skin just to show you how smooth and luxurious it is and that nice shine. It's not too oily and it's not too thick. It's nice. It really is. And now I'm just showing you that I'm just adding on the lids. I had a little bit more in my piping bags and I didn't want to waste it and throw it away. So in this next clip, I'm showing you the little 2-ounce jars that I had. And those came in handy because it was just enough. Go ahead and decorate these. I want to add a different twist to them. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So I have a few things here. I did make this little bottle. It's like a little resin piece I made. I put a V on it because the person I'm making this for, her name begins with a V. And I'm just going to turn this charm into just something to put on here. See how I just ripped it off? Because it rips off pretty easily. So you'll see what I do. So for the thicker things that don't lay too flat, like these lips, I'm going to use E6000. But everything else to get it locked on there really good, I'm going to use the UV resin. Okay, you guys, now this is the fun part. This is the fun part of the video where I get to decorate these lids. And this is my second batch of these. This is like a part 2 video if you saw my first body butter video. And here I am using the E6000 because I kind of almost forgot. Now I knew I was going to use the E6000 for those thicker pieces. And I just went ahead and added a few more things on here. But I'm using the UV resin because I really like that nice strong hold. And I also love how everything is just really locked on almost instantly. So I always tell you guys, you may want to consider this. If you're a crafter, get you an LED lamp, get you some UV resin. It doesn't work on all surfaces like this, like a rock hard glue. But most surfaces it does. Not to add on the product, I just couldn't fit it on. So I may add it to one of the other jars. But this is how this jar came out. Now for the edges, I'm going to cut out some trim and glue on some trim to the side. So I have these adhesive rhinestone sheets, and then I also have the pink, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to do the clear. The pink would be nice too, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the clear. Well, no, I may do this. I think I will do the pink. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so here I'm just showing you how I'm kind of measuring out this little strip piece, and I'm using the E6000. Now it is very sticky already, but I wanted to make sure that this didn't peel off. You know, when you make something for someone, you want to make sure it's going to be intact. So a little E6000 is what I put on here, and that's going to hold on there very well. And I'm going to do that to all the jars. I'll do the rest of the trim off camera. And now I'm working on the second jar, and I'm using all the UV resin. I love the chunky bling, and as you can see, they don't be always flat at the bottom. So with this, just having a little piece of it on there and that UV resin just lock it on the way it does, I love it. Ooh, I love it. Like I said, it's very good too if you're in a crunch for time. When you're in a crunch for time and the clock is just against you and you're trying to put something together and you don't have that time to let it really just sit for a day or two, this is the best. Some smaller sample jars I had put together because I knew I wasn't going to have enough to make one of the 4-ounce or the 8-ounce jars. So I was going to just leave them blank, but I was like, why not add a little something to them? So I have these cute little planner charms here. I do sell like a 6-piece set on my website if you're interested. And if you want something that has more quantity, I do have an actual kit that has more, and then some larger size bling gems. I even included some of these little plungers, plastic plungers, that's what I call them, if you wanted to turn these into charms, like CROC charms to put on your actual shoes. That would be cute as well. If not, you can use these to make cell phone cases. The idea I created. Also, if you want to do something on the body butter lids, there's so much that you can do with these. So I just wanted to let you know that I do have that on my website, myroyalradiance.com. So again, I will be using the UV resin to go ahead and get this locked on. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get started and just do them like, you know. So these were just super simple because if you look at the little planner charms, it basically takes up the whole little round top cap area. And just adding a couple stones around it, and I added a little bit of sprinkles on the top of this one. It's just so darling. If you want to just add a planner charm, and that's it. But the credit card shape ones with the rectangle credit card ones, it went over the sides. So I chose the ones that were more cut out, like the cut out purse, the cut out mouth with the money in it. It just made more sense to use those. So certain planner charms would be a little bit too big. But I'm just going to continue to go ahead and add on some cute decorations to these, and I'll be finished pretty soon. And this size just comes in handy. Look how cute and small it is. You could just throw this in your purse. If you don't want to put a big body butter in your purse, just put like a little small one like this. Or if you want to just give out samples and not bling them out, you know, and just have little sample sizes for people to try. And then if they really like it, they can come back and buy bigger ones. But I think this will be great too to offer if you do body butters, because guess what? If you have a bigger size body butter and you try to travel with it, it'll have to get thrown away unless you put it inside your carry-on or your checked luggage. So this will be great if you're going to have a carry-on you don't have to worry about this being thrown away. So that's a great reason to have the little travel size as well. Okay, so now finally what I'm going to do, that's completely optional, is labeling. And I don't have labels that says blah 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 body butter. You can get some made if you want to, of course. I happen to have had some labels. I had so many of these labels made. Okay, so when I first started customizing things to people many years ago, I called myself ROYALSTHRONE. That's still the name I go by on eBay. I still sell some things on eBay like rhinestones and things of that nature. So I have like tons of these labels. I was like, and people in my family and that I'm gifting these to, they know me. They know that as being something I went by. So for the sake of that, I'm gonna just put this on these jars. But you don't have to label your jars if you don't want to, especially if you're not gonna be doing this like on a regular. You can get labels and take it to that next level. Of course, if you wanna sell them or make this like a limited edition or specialty item, because this is time consuming. But these are really catchy to the eye and people like extra. Well, I know y'all do. I know my subscribers, most of y'all like a lot of bling and stuff. I love it. So I'm going to add, I already wiped this off with alcohol because you know these could be a little greasy from the process of putting the body butter in it. And then sometimes I put stuff on crooked, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, let's see here, put a label on. Is that right? Okay, add the label to these jars. It kind of completes the look, but like I said, I also like it without the labels. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put labels on here, and then I'm gonna reveal these to you at the end of the video. Now, I'm gonna reveal the smaller ones too. I had to cut a piece of the top and the bottom of the label to make it fit. I actually like these better without the label, the smaller ones. So I'm not gonna put labels on all of them. I just did it just to test this one out. But how cute is that? Look at these. I wasn't gonna put anything on them, but I'm glad I did. Okay, so I have two more. I'm just gonna put the labels on and I'm gonna move on. These labels came from, these came from Avery Labels or Avery.com, and they're not too expensive. You have your logo and everything made. You can go ahead and do it on Canva if you have that app. It's free for the basic editing and designing, but then it costs more if you want to get like a more advanced level. And then you can also go to have the actual logo made on Fiverr.com, Fiverr. Just Google Fiverr and you can have a logo made for as little as $5, $10. It gets up to $50 or more. So you can do that if you want to go ahead and get you a body butter business. But I would definitely work on the consistencies of how you would like your body butters. And I already did a video. I'm behind on my editing, but I did a video. This is part 2. These came out a lot more creamier than the first batch I did. I'm just going to show you one of them from my previous from my daughter, and let me just show you the difference. So you want to work on your recipes for your body butters so you can see how you want them to be, because if someone buys some body butter from you and they fell in love with the first consistency, and then the second time they buy it is different or it's creamier or thinner, that may be an issue. So just work on that. And I do memorize the oil amounts that I use for each one. So I added a little bit more oil for this one. So I guess it must have fell to the side. None of it was used, but you see it's like a more creamier look to it. Like you can't see the shape of the piping. Now this one was from the first batch. I use a little less oils for this. Now this is my daughter. She did use some of it, but you see how you can see that piping shape? and it's thicker. You could just see visibly it's thicker. Even if you look on the side, you can see how much thicker it is. I actually prefer the thicker. I like to put it on my hand, like I like to be able to do that to it and like feel it like kind of melt away in my hand like that. I like that. Oh, look at that. Look at that shine. Look at that. And I'd wash my hands so much. They're really, really dry. That's what really motivated me, because I had kind of ran out of body butter. I'm like, let me just see if I can do this myself. I just need more practice too, because I just couldn't get my fragrance to really come through. But it still smells like the base of what was used, which is the shea butter. So it still smells like that, which is wonderful. But yes, and it's not too heavy, it's not too thick, and it gives you like a nice little shine. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, make it look real cute for you and reveal it to you now. Okay, you guys, here is the final finished result of these body butters. These aren't just any old body butters. These are some extremely blingy, glamorous, extravagant. No, they're just really, really fabulous, and I absolutely love these. I have never seen anything like this. That's why I wanted to create this. I thought it was a brilliant idea. The people that I made them for, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, my nieces, my other sister-in-law, my aunt, absolutely love them. They love them. And I was just like, oh, I made one for my daughter as well. So I'm actually going to be making more of these. This video is a little bit older, so these were Valentine's Day gifts. I'm actually going to make some more because I didn't make one for myself. I kept one of the little travel size ones for myself. I want to make one for my my cousin. I want to make one for my husband. But of course, his won't be all blingy. His is actually going to have our other company that we have, our other business together, our family business. It's going to have the logo for CR Tactical Defense. It'll have the logo on it. So I thought that would be really cute. Oh, I also made one for my son. Now his has our family business logo on his as well. He has eczema, so he always has to have a nice thick butter or cocoa butter or something for his skin. And I'm always constantly buying some type of Cetaphil or some type of raw shea butter. So I was like, let me just make something, you know. So when he needs it, I can just make it, whip it up. Don't have to order it online. So it comes in handy. I have eczema too, but not as bad as him. I love it. I absolutely love it. I just want to make sure that my next batch is thicker, because in my opinion, I like it thicker. But I love how these little pieces I made with my UV lamp with the UV resin came out. I absolutely love how well and good that these planner charms just really bring these to life. And then the trim. Now, maybe I will do some adding the rhinestones piece by piece. That would take a lot longer. The trim really came in handy. It's quick. You can just cut it out, put it on there. Let me know what you guys think about these body butters. If you sell body butters, I know this may be a lot to just, especially if you're selling tons of it a month, to sit down and like bling them all out. But just think, maybe if you do like a limited edition, or you have something special like this at your pop-up table, because when I go to pop-up shops, they frequently do have body butters. That's where I like to buy them from, the pop-up shops. But it's not very likely that they'll have the lids that look like these. Not very likely. So I think you sell out of yours a lot quicker than a table next to you that has body butters and theirs aren't nice and blingy and glamorous. And I know this isn't for everyone, but I think this is like this will be a great home run for your business if you're at a pop-up shop. They'll really stand out. Also, I want to say you can make these more masculine if you do want to make them for your husband. And let's say he's a huge Steelers fan, you can most definitely find planner charms that has football and basketball, different logos on them. If you're in a sorority, you should be able to find them with your sorority. So don't limit it to just thinking it has to be glamorous looking like this, because men could use some body butter for those dry hands as well, and those dry elbows and kneecaps. I'm not just saying men are dry, women are too. Everyone wants to have nice, smooth skin, right? Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you did find some value in it. I really hope that you found some great ideas, something cool that you may try out yourself. If so, give this video a thumbs up, share it on Facebook, send it to someone who may find it interesting. And also don't forget that you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Life is a Whole Vibe with underscores in between each word. And if you are going to subscribe to this channel, make sure that you do hit that notification bell so that you will be alerted every time I upload a video. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Bye-bye. And we do carry faux leather inspired designer fabric for your crafting needs, luxury inspired croc charms, as well as iron-on patches and much more. Enjoy the coupon code MyRoyalBeauty10OFF. Check out our website, crtacticaldefense.com, where we do sell in-waistband gun holsters, belly band holsters, and many more. Please check out my discount code VIBES for a special discount for my subscribers.